Well, I'm here with Christine Drumheller, who is a pocket scrapbooking expert, let me tell you. She's a total rebel, and she does it her own way. And Christine, if we look at your beautiful pocket scrapbooking layout here, what I can see is, well, you're kind of breaking all the rules.
I am. I love traditional scrapbooking. I love the layers and I love the texture. And I didn't want to feel like I had to adhere to a completely separate set of rules for pocket scrapbooking. So what I did is...
Okay, you're going to tell us the rule-breaking issues number one. So where do you start with a pocket scrapbooking
Well, when I start with a pocket scrapbooking page, I pick out all of my pictures. I print them from home so I can adjust the size. I can print whatever size I want. And one of the things that I like to do is just kind of go in and lay them out. And I love using some repositionable tape to adhere them. That way they're not flopping around and I can see where my layout is going to go. Then what I like to do, just because you have these pre-designated spots doesn't mean you have to have those photos fit those spots exactly. So what I did is I printed a really large photo and I made a mark where it would go. I'm going to cut that and we're going to actually put that large photo in two spots. We're just going to cut the photo right in half.
It's such a smart and easy way to deal with the problem of maybe the pockets don't exactly reflect the photos that tell your story that week.
Exactly.
So one of the other things that we can look at while we're here is that not only have you put in obviously a larger photo, but you've also, I can see a smaller photo.
Right.
And that's what you're using the tape for, is to hold the photos that aren't quite the right size.
Right. So now I've cut this photo right in half, and then you can just slide it right into...
Slip it into those pockets. There's a reason they call it pocket scrapbooking.
That's exactly
it's
right.
Full of pockets. And you know, the thing that I like about this is that, again, like, you're not letting anything dictate to you what your memories are supposed to be.
If I want a larger...
And of course, if you have a tight fit on a photo, which I often do, you can trim it down. You just want to remember when you cut a photo like this, never to trim, obviously, from the center, but to trim instead
down a little.
Yeah, from the top or the bottom, because that's what really helps. And if we take a peek here, you can see how perfectly and beautifully you've done it here, and now it just looks like a beautiful big photo.
Right, and another funny tip is when I first started to lay this out, I wanted to do a large photograph. You can't really, you have to be careful where that line is going to be that you're going to cut. You could cut people right in half.
I was going to say, if you had taken this photo and cut it in half, you'd be sort of interesting.
It would. You'd be longer faces.
Now, your rebel tip number two, which I think is absolutely cooler than cool, actually has to do with that other photo that didn't quite fit into the protector, right? And it's using, is it this card here?
Yep. What I did is I loved this journaling card. I wanted to add some journaling.
And this is not a journaling card you made. This is just a journaling card that comes like in a coordinated set of stuff.
Right. This is a card from a coordinated set. And then what I did, I liked the note part. I liked the color, but I wanted to include this picture. So what I did is I simply cover up that take note part, and then I change this. What I do is I go in and I change the note to note this. I changed the title simply by using...
I can see that right here, on your finished piece. You're using letter stickers and a little geotag, keeping all that sort of modern social media stuff with us.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So listen, you rebel you. You're going to take us now to your next super rebellious idea, which I think is really awesome, which is the idea that we often think of stamps as having to be the focus of something.
Right.
But you're saying, no, that's not true.
Not at all. There are so many fun stamps. There's so many fun ink colors out there. Why not layer them? And again, you know, with pocket scrapbooking, sometimes we think, oh, pocket scrapbooking is flat. It doesn't have to be. So what I did, again, we're going to put the tag on the outside. Why does it have to go in? It's going to stick up a little bit into the picture. It's going to give us some nice layers.
So this is a fascinating idea. I mean, there's actually like 7 rebellious things going on here. I mean, you're such a troublemaker, you don't even know it. But I just want to explain for 1 second. If you look, so first of all, there's a pocket here with a card in it.
Right.
And what you're telling me is you're not even going to really use that card.
No.
You're just using this tiny
little bit of color
sliver. Then you took a regular tag. If we have a regular size tag, which you can see right here, you cut it, you stitched it, and now you're telling me you're going to glue it to the outside.
That's right.
Okay, that's crazy. And now you're going to do something even weirder.
Right. I just took a nice light colored ink. We're going to just apply that to our acrylic stamp and then put that right down, right about where our title would go. And that's it. It's nice and subtle. It's got that pretty blue like the rest of it. I was going to say, you just
perfectly coordinated it with this card, which makes so much sense. And now actually the yellow from here is reflecting the yellow that's here, and even it's the same yellow, I think, that's there.
That's the beauty of having a coordinated coordinated set too, is that it's all going to blend together perfectly.
That's really cool. So then if we look back at the finished one, I can see that what you did with that stamped image right here is you used it as a background. And Christine, I think this is another great idea in terms of mixing up your fonts. You're taking two different alpha sets, you're mixing fonts, colors, and you're even layering them on top of each other, which again goes to that thing that we were talking about dimension.
Right, and the other thing that that stamp does too is it grounds that title. That title isn't kind of floating around. It gives it that layer and grounds it right on that little tag.
So let's talk about some of the other really cool things that you've done here, because I'm looking at all this stuff that's now stuck onto the outside of the page protector. Now, obviously a page protector is a slick surface. Do you need a special kind of adhesive of any kind to make sure that things stick to the outside of it?
No, your regular stickers will do fine. If you have anything else that you're going to adhere, a stronger adhesive is good.
Like a wet adhesive?
Yeah, like a wet adhesive works really well. The other thing that I wanted to show is that, you know, again, layer stuff on top. Use some stuff, have some things sticking out. It adds interest. And then another little tip. This photo, if you look at it, it's kind of rainy, but it shows the bridge. But when I took the picture, there's cars all in the street.
Oh,
layer your stuff
edited
over.
The photo.
Sure. Layer
That's
stuff over it.
That's such a cool idea. I love that. So again, you become the boss of exactly what it looks like. You don't have to follow a formula.
Nobody knows that car's there.
I love that idea. And you've even brought another book in another size where again I can see all these different things. And give us your one last tip here, which I just think is amazing. Here it is.
When you go on vacation, one of the fun things about going on vacation is collecting all the little memorabilia along the way. So this is a pocket scrapbooking little mini album. Use those pockets for memorabilia.